Hello, and welcome to Gehenna Gaming, where we tell dark stories and support inclusivity in gaming. And welcome to Chapter 3 of our massive Nyarlathotep 7th edition Call of Cthulhu adventure, where our intrepid investigators are arriving in Puno, down in Peru. Before we get started and before we talk about some of our wonderful sponsors for this episode, why don't we introduce our investigators?
Hello, everyone. It's Rhea Sunshine, and I'm still playing Love LaRue.
Hi, I'm Salem Sharp, and I will be playing Oliver West. Dr. Oliver West.
I'm Olufemi Shoamimo. You can call me Femi. I am playing the character of Adrian Beaumont.
I'm Sharon Paris, and I am playing Ophelia Click.
My name is Tyler Sutherland, playing Nicholas Porter.
As always, a huge thank you to our sponsors, Eldritch Foundry, Norse Foundry, Infinite Black, the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society, and DriveThruRPG. We'll be giving away a $50 gift card to Eldritch Foundry and, if I'm remembering correctly, because we are rotating through them, a starter set for Call of Cthulhu off of DriveThruRPG today. So make sure you check those codes in the live chat on Twitch and enter for your chance to win, which we'll announce at the end of the episode. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay. So after surprisingly comfortable 3-day journey, you arrive in Puno. Oliver, Nicholas, you have chewed cocoa leaves to help alleviate the symptoms, but unfortunately you are still suffering from mild altitude sickness. This is going to affect a few things throughout our journey, beyond obviously like the nausea and the risks there. You may feel dizziness, shortness of breath, some headaches, general fatigue. But every day you are in the Highlands, you will get to roll a Constitution check to see if you acclimate to the thin air. So you'll have a little bit of time before that becomes debilitating.
Love that.
Mm-hmm. So Puno is a much smaller city than Lima. It's roughly 20,000 residents. It's located in the southern Andean highlands, pretty much on the shore of Lake Titicaca. If you're on one side of Puno, you can't see the lake, but once you start moving your way through it, you're going to start seeing it. It's very much central to that location. Most of the buildings are 1 to 2 story structures, older construction, stone, brick, and the streets are not designed for vehicles. Like the trucks stop at the edge of the city and let you out. This is a maze. These are footpaths for the most part, or horse or cart, not designed for trucks.
Wonderful.
Tourists are very rare here. You immediately see, particularly those of you who are light-skinned, you get second glances. Not so much wariness, but surprise that you're here. And Jackson Elias hops out of his truck and says, all right, so I know a few people here. There's also some villages on the lake, on some islands there, who are, interestingly enough, a little better informed about what I think we're dealing with here. Of course, they believe in the Kharisiri, which now that we've dealt with De Mendoza, I understand where some of their fear comes from. So
I agree. He was,
Terrifying?
I was going to say less than charming.
The stuff of nightmares? Horrifying, fucking, terrible.
Nightmares can sometimes be fun if they help you.
That one
work.
wasn't.
Very fair.
He almost ate you.
what nightmares are fun?
I don't know. She said it.
I haven't had one yet, but the world is full of possibilities.
I think we can
fair
mark
enough.
D. Mendoza down as like a solid no on possibilities.
You're right.
So, I mean, we can resupply. I do have a contact on the islands who might be of some help, especially now that we've seen firsthand what we're coming up against. I don't know about you, but I would like to stretch my legs a little bit. That was a long ride.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. I notice we're getting a few looks from the residents. Is that going to be a problem?
No. I don't believe so. Like they're pretty. Like they were pretty welcoming with me. I'm told I have a way with people everywhere I go. But you're less familiar feature-wise in this area.
Fair enough.
And also, if you remember the stories of the Kharisiri, most of them are of European descent. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Oh, okay. It took me a moment. I understand what you're implying.
He
oh.
just taps the side of his nose like,
We're not going to make anyone uncomfortable by being here, are we?
No, I think especially since you're all, for the most part, pretty friendly. He actually stares directly at you when he says that, Oliver.
What?
You're pretty friendly and easy to go along with. I think that they'll realize you're not, fat-sucking leech monsters pretty quickly. He says that loud enough where several people turn and look at him.
He said not, by the way.
Yeah,
everyone.
not.
And of course, you will all immediately notice no one here is speaking English.
On that
Fair
note,
enough.
Jackson, how is your translating ability, or do we need more people?
Oh, I'll be fine. I'll manage for the group, and you speak some Spanish, yeah?
Un poquito?
Yep, you'll adjust.
That means a little bit, by the way.
Portuguese primarily.
Yes, my Portuguese is quite strong.
I guessed. It's the accent.
Also, fuck you. I have a great bedside manner.
Was that it? Was that it that you were presenting to us all, the bedside manner?
So he literally just walks on. He's like, you'll figure it out.
I've made my point. Whether it goes over my head or not, I've made my point.
Like I said, we can resupply and head out immediately. I do have some contacts who might be worth chatting with, or we can rest here for a day. It's up to y'all. I mean, we're not obviously racing Larkin to get there anymore, so.
I mean, I wouldn't put absolutes on anything right now. The shit we've seen the last few days,
It's true.
I don't know. I watched a man almost eat my sister. So, these contacts of yours, who are they?
So on the islands, on the lake, fishing villages. I don't want to give the wrong impression. They're not less. He gestures towards the city, like they're people from the city, but they stay on the islands because of ease of doing their jobs.
Right.
But they are a little more in touch with the let's say local flora and fauna and legends of the area.
It's like Staten Island.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yes, actually.
Seems exactly like Staten Island.
Yes, it is.
I love it. We should go.
Jackson Elias is from New York, so he's like, when I was asking questions last time I was here, a lot of the folks in the city pointed me towards the fishing villages, and I didn't believe them at the time, but they did have a decent amount of information. There was for lack of a better term, wise woman named Narya. she was a font of information and very nice. That's who I would recommend we go chat with if we want to see if there's anything else to uncover before we head out.
That sounds perfect. And
I say, as much as I'd like to rest, I think getting this done, the sooner the better. I don't like the idea of hanging around here any longer than... Not that this town is not lovely. I'm done with Peruvian vampires in my life. If I see another one, it will be far too soon.
Same page. Same page, doctor.
Medicine woman.
Jackson, are there any words, behaviors that we should stay away from that are going to get us run out of town?
Let's see. Consuming the fat of any of the city people. You saw D. Mendoza acting anything like him. Yeah, that should cover it.
so
I think we're clear.
Otherwise, they're perfectly polite.
Though we look a little gaunt and out of wares right now, so maybe I'll hang back.
none of us are stoic, like, tough guys, though.
Love,
Yeah?
why... Oh my God.
We should go talk.
I feel like if I start smiling, it's going to be even creepier.
Probably.
Nicholas, perhaps you'd like to have a conversation with Oliver in the back while we're meeting this Naria person. As a suggestion, I don't know.
No objections.
It might be better if I join you for that conversation as well, just to make sure no one's uneasy, and then we can probably introduce us in slowly. I just don't want to put this Naria person on edge.
Hang on. Out of curiosity, are you guys worried that I'm going to say something to this woman because I am a doctor?
No.
Because you're a doctor? No.
Okay.
So we should, let's move forward.
You you have a bedside manner, doctor. It is...
A bedside manner.
I am sure that when you are working with your usual patients at home, it is very bright and pleasant.
It is.
I can pretend to be happy.
Culturally, it might be a little off-putting here. Different cultures and all.
I'm not going to say anything to this woman that's going to make her hate me.
Good. Excellent. All right. Shall we?
Let's.
Okay. He leads you through the city. He obviously has been here before. He is weaving his way around. He brushes past a bunch of people. If you linger too long to look at anything, you might lose him. So he's moving quick. The city is beautiful. It is very easy to move around. You're not in, the people do kind of give you a little bit of a wide berth, but not in an aggressive or antagonistic way. You don't think you're in any physical danger from them. It's just, they're like, white people.
It's fine, I have the same reaction.
Which is a valid reaction. So, yeah. He leads you through the city. You make your way to docks, and you can see the lakes in front of you. And if we switch over to our map here for a second, I'll hand it back over. You can see where Puno is located.
This is Puno.
Yep.
The tilde, I assume.
That's how
No,
I...
actually.
Ooh.
Yep.
I was wrong.
Such a strange land. Look at that.
Wow. I'll be damned.
So you can see across the water a couple floating islands. They're pretty small. You can see small thatch huts on them. It looks like these are places where people stay when they're working. They're not permanent homes for any of these people. and Elias easily finds a reed boat, and he's actually rents it without the help of the local fishermen, and says that he will do the paddling. Asks for assistance from the gentleman.
I don't think you want my muscles on this one, or lack thereof.
Fair enough, because you can see it is about a 2-mile row.
Yeah.
And he settles in and starts rowing.
This is so nice.
Do me a favor. Can everyone roll while like Elias is talking to the fishermen and renting the boat and stuff? Give me a spot hidden roll.
With our lovely Norse Foundry dice.
The love effect is in full force.
13 under 45.
Fantastic.
87 over 25.
26 under 45.
Okay.
73 over 45.
5 under 25.
Wow.
That is 1/5. So love. So those of you who passed notice kind of a middle-aged woman and a teenage boy loitering around the docks. Not like they're working, not like maybe they're waiting for like the father to come back from the lake. You're not sure. Love, you notice that same gaunt, hungry look D. Mendoza had about them.
And this like shrill noise just kind of escapes Love's throat in this moment. And it's like maybe a second and a half of just as she just calmly, smiling face, turns and looks at each of you individually and then directly looks at both of the people.
Now, what's funny is they don't notice at all because they are watching Elias.
Oh, no.
I saddle up next to Elias in the boat and I'm like, hey, just real quick. Do you usually have shadows when you come here? And she just kind of like cracks her neck in the direction of the two.
No, I usually try to avoid bringing that much attention to myself. And he looks, and I'll see if he notices exactly what you're pointing out. Ooh, let's see. I think he does. He notices the gaunt, especially with you pointing out who to look at. He notices the gauntness. But as he rows away from the docks, they remain on the docks. He says, I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
Can vampires swim?
I mean, according to some legends, they can't cross running water, although I don't know if a lake counts.
But
Lakes are pretty
The
stagnant.
lake is still.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, hope we can row fast.
Well, I mean, they don't seem to be following us.
I don't know if that's good for us or bad for the people still back there.
I didn't even consider that. I should have told one of the dock people.
It's all right.
I mean, that might have caused more panic.
Yeah.
They're not, I mean,
Panic is better than ignorance.
Well, I mean, what if we were wrong? I don't think we are, but on the slim chance we were.
Or informed more Peruvian vampires?
Yeah.
That's fair.
yeah, why don't we, they seem more interested in us than anything. Maybe if we
Yeah, us.
get out of here, me, maybe if we get out of here, they'll follow us and leave these wonderful folks alone.
Yay?
No, yay. That is a good thing.
I mean, to be fair, we dealt with D. Mendoza pretty easily.
Love
Thanks
dealt
to
with
love.
D. Mendoza
Yeah,
very
love did
easily.
everything.
You know what? I feel a lot safer now.
Yeah.
I held on.
So he rows out to the islands. It takes a little bit chit-chat while you're going. And when he gets there, he's actually greeted pretty warmly by two of the guys working on the makeshift dock on the island. Chats with him in Spanish for a little bit. You pick up bits and pieces here and there. And you hear the name Narya mentioned a couple times, and they nod, and they lead you kind of into like the grouping of the huts that are there. And it's very clear to all of you, like, they're keeping her hidden. And as you're walking, Jackson Elias actually says quietly, she actually doesn't live on the island. She lives, like, on the outskirts of Puno. But she's worried about, apparently rightfully so, worried about the Kharisiri. So
Fair.
the people here are keeping her safe and hidden.
That's very good.
I thought it was paranoia last time I was here. Now I'm not so sure. She does seem to know a lot about them.
Fair.
I wonder why.
We'll see. And you approach the hut that she is in. One of the gentlemen steps inside. You hear an older woman's voice speaking in Spanish. Briefly back and forth, he comes out and nods to Jackson Elias and holds open a one of those like reed curtains for you all to enter. I am going to just speak in English, and I'm not going to act like I'm translating. First of all, I don't speak Spanish. Secondly, I'm not going to act like I'm translating her. I'm just going to act like you're speaking directly to her for simplicity's sake here. Narya's an older, you're not entirely sure how old she is. It's one of those, like, she has youthful eyes still, but a very old face. Probably, if you had to guess, she's in her mid-70s. You hear the word Yatiri mentioned a few times, which would be a traditional healer amongst the people who live in this area. Roughly a wise woman. Catholicism is on the rise and pretty prominent here, so you could see she probably isn't as well revered as she would have been in the past. But still, you see the people, at least the people here, treat her with a lot of reverence and respect. Stooped, wrinkled face, thick white hair, but very bright, young, animated eyes. She looks very excited to see all of you, not at all wary, especially after she gets a good look at you as you walk into the hut. And she smiles and just says, "How may I help you?"
Madam Nuria, or whatever the customary honorific is.
When Jackson translates that, she's like, "Oh, that's fine." The equivalent of the old one would be like, "Oh, you're so sweet."
Thank you. I want to show proper obeisance because I'm very thankful for the fact that you are willing to meet with us. We are in search of your wisdom. We confronted a being, a dangerous being, the stuff of nightmares. Back in Lima, correct? Yes, back in Lima, and we fear this evil spreading. We intend to stop it, and we are hoping you can inform us how.
So you encountered the Kharisiri and their master, or at least one representation of him.
The man Mendoza, a conquistador from the 1500s?
Let me tell you a story. And she already knows about Jackson Elias's efforts to find the temple. So she just says, once very near this lake, a ancient, terrible god fell from the sky. and landed in the lake. When it crawled out, it brought hunger with it, devouring everything it touched. Plants, animals, the rocks themselves. But the trickster hero, Akiko, told the evil god where the most nutritious food could be found underground, showing it the tubers and grubs that would sate its hunger. Or so it thought, so he told it. He convinced the god from the sky, tempted by the food, to crawl into an old armadillo burrow. And then he quickly placed stones over the burrow, trapping it below. When Akiko told the people that this was now a sacred site, he had them build a temple there, binding it in place with spells worked in gold. When he says that, Jackson kind of glances at all of you. Or when she... The god from the sky still lives beneath that temple to this day, and I believe that is the ruins that you wish to seek. Our people avoid it, even those who don't believe in the stories anymore. And that hunger, I believe, is what created the Kharisiri.
Ma'am, what if the gold had been removed? Is there a way to replace them?
I would presume that if pieces of the spell were damaged, you could correct that. If it was entirely removed, we would know, for the god would be released.
So it's only pieces that have gone missing.
Pieces like this, and I'll pull out the golden piece that I nicked from Larkin.
The
mirror.
The mirror?
No, there was a golden, one of the artifacts he placed down on the table.
She says no. The Kharisiri collect the treasures of their victims. That is likely one of those.
The mirror.
Love. You have it.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you kept it.
Yeah.
She turns to
I didn't want to
her
touch
bag that she's been carrying with her, and she's like, "Oh, I do. I was wondering why my bag was so heavy."
I wondered that too.
And she like holds it out to Naria, but it has like one of her nice blouses wrapped around it.
The woman looks but does not touch it.
Oh, should I?
Please.
Is it bad if we're touching it?
I think she doesn't know what it is yet. So she says, I perhaps, and Jackson says, she's just wary of.
So fair. And she puts it down on the table still in her like blouse and backs up and is like staring at her hands.
Like, uh-oh.
Like,
And
they're dirty.
Elias reaches over and pulls the blouse off of it. And the old woman just kind of. I don't know if she knows what the mirror is. Let's find out. She kind of peers over the table at it, kind of inspecting it. Not with that roll.
Can I ask, those of us who have not looked into the mirror, we've seen what became of people who did look into the mirror, right? Like, we noticed them.
You saw what happened to Oliver.
Which, okay.
I almost put the mask on.
Well, you didn't see what happened to Oliver.
That's
You weren't
right.
in the room.
Oh, right.
But everyone else did.
Too
And
busy
probably
being
told you. She says, I bet I'm not familiar with this artifact, but it seems very powerful to me.
Would it be of use to us, or should we throw it in the lake?
Oh, I would keep it. Every arcane artifact has its purpose. Whether that purpose is used for good or evil is up to the person who has it.
Well, my mind is made up. I think you should have it, Ophelia.
No, I don't want it. When I looked through it, I saw blackness. I saw dark tentacles coming out of somewhere. I don't want it.
But that's why you should have it.
No, I kind of agree. As somebody who looked in the mirror, I understand her hesitance. It's horrifying.
And you see Narya kind of like asking Jackson to translate what you're saying for her. And when he translates what you said, she looks very concerned. She says, "This is a very powerful artifact. I would keep it if only to ensure that it does not fall into the wrong hands."
That makes sense.
You know the safest place within our ranks? Your purse. Ain't no one getting that.
That's fair.
What else did you want to ask her?
How do you know all this?
These are the legends of my people.
That is wonderful. Have you been a wise woman or a medicine woman for long? Like, how long have you done this?
Oh. You can see her trying to do the math in her head. Decades.
That's incredible. Would you be comfortable, by any chance, showing me and my brother some of your medicinal practices before we go? Because I assume we're not going at night, correct?
Oh, hell no. At least I would not like to.
She nods.
Wonderful.
Naria, I don't quite share my compatriots' confidence in how we dispatched with the Kharisiri we ran into. It was a bit of a fight. Do you know of any weaknesses that they may have? I know legends of vampires, how they avoid sunlight and such, but this is something I'm unfamiliar with.
She starts telling you a little bit more about what she knows about the Kharisiri. She says the name comes from the term for carving something with a knife.
Oh, wow.
She tells you that the Kharisiri are known throughout Peru and Bolivia, although their names and descriptions change from region to region. She believes this is because there are many of them. The archetypal Kharisiri, according to her, is a tall white man wearing a wide-brimmed hat who carries a long knife that he uses to butcher people and steal their body fat. This doesn't quite match the description of D. Mendoza, but you can see some similarities.
And quick question, Narya, about that. Is that something we could potentially use to our advantage in this temple? Just for just getting in and being safe, and Love kind of stands closer to Oliver without saying anything about Oliver. Just as is that something we could utilize?
Oh, I don't know.
Love,
Okay.
You're suggesting using a disguise.
I like dress up. I dress up for my shows all the time.
Interesting.
Remind me never to go anywhere with you ever again.
I'm so hurt. Why?
Because you are suggesting dressing me up as a vampire and shoving me into a pyramid. Tell me I'm wrong.
Would you rather be dressed as a meal or the meal eater when you're in the restaurant?
That wasn't a no.
You can't be agreeing with her.
I'm not agreeing with her.
Thank you.
I think we're just exploring options at the moment.
Let's make that plan not be. Let's make that plan
D for dinner.
No, I was going to make it a little more like plan X, Y, or Z. I'd like to try everything else before I dress like a vampire.
Naria, do you know where our goal is? This temple?
Oh, yes. I know where it is.
But do you know what we should do once we get there? We obviously want to.
I have never explored the site myself. I know I have seen it. I know how to get to it, but my people avoid it for a reason.
It's very fair. I think this is getting a bit out of control, though. Not for any lack of your people trying. I think they're getting stronger.
Or the spells are getting weaker.
Yeah. With more people coming in and searching the ruins. If they took any of that gold out.
I have not heard of anyone traveling to the ruins recently. Except for that gentleman, Larkin. Although I don't know if he went to the ruins himself or if De Mendoza simply told him about them. This is partially coming from Narya, partially coming from Jackson Elias. But unfortunately, I don't know much more about the site itself.
This seems a long shot, but is there any way you may know of what dangers might await someone who approaches or encroaches?
Well, of course, the Kharisiri themselves. And then it is up in the mountains a little bit south of here. So, of course, the heights, the wild animals of the region.
Are there traps or puzzles? Because in my research, there's typically puzzles or traps. And
The stories that I have heard say that the site is cursed.
great. Love that.
Beyond that, I do not know.
Do you know if it's a curse of if we step on the land or if it's we take something? Because I don't know about you guys. I'd rather not be cursed.
I think if we take the gold, like other people, we're cursed with whatever they got.
Yeah, it's not on my to-do list.
Yeah. Nor mine.
Perhaps. Is there any other stories any other information I can impart on you?
Any you think would be helpful?
She will tell you more of the folklore of the region. More if you ask. She obviously the lake itself is thought to be the birthplace of humanity. She will tell you a little bit more about that belief. Wanderers should be wary of remains. She tells you if you go into the mountainside, be wary of any remains you might find in caves, because they could be machacuna, which are creatures made from bone that will come to life and attack you.
Wonderful.
And she also says there could be another threat up there called the Sukwa, which are creatures that seek out humans not to repent their sins, but to kill them and eat them. She muses that the Sukwa may somehow be related to the Kharisiri, and that the people are very wary of encountering them up in the mountains.
Oh, good.
So we're gonna die.
Not if we're careful.
And so I assume, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I assume she doesn't say anything about holy water or light or any sort of. That's unfortunate.
Nope.
Okay.
She in fact explicitly says that obviously the Kharisiri can travel during the day.
I mean, they're pretty weak to small Peruvian women that we've seen. And just small women in general, I think, is a great weakness.
It is a small women thing.
Mm-hmm. So we're good.
She laughs at that. She gets a good chuckle out of it. She says, well, they are afraid of me.
You know what? In school, I was taught if you experiment enough with something and you get the same result every time, that must be the truth. We have seen 3 instances where these things have been tackled by small women, so I'm convinced this is their weakness.
Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
I feel incredible.
We actually might die.
Yeah. Definitely.
Before you leave, she does explain some of the herbs and stuff she uses for medicine. How the cocoa leaf can be used to help ease the ailments of altitude sickness. Another herb can be used to cure headaches, things like that.
Every time she gives any kind of detail in this, Oliver has much like the notebook I have, is just furiously writing it down.
And she's saying all this, and Jackson Elias is translating it for you. But she will like show you the leaves and herbs too, so you can like sketch them if you're able to, things like that.
Absolutely.
And then she wishes you luck, and you can all tell that it's very genuine.
All right.
Love accidentally leaves that blouse in her home.
With the mirror?
No,
Okay,
the
you
mirror is
take
with me, but the blouse looks like it could possibly fit her. And Love's like, I don't need it.
Okay.
You're going to come back. She looks bougie as hell.
She's actually turned it into like a scarf.
Yeah.
Okay. So you leave, unless there's anything else you want to do on the island, and row back to the city.
Oh, did you want to do something?
There is something I want
Go
to
for
do.
Yes.
Just like as we're moving throughout the island, whether it's like going back and forth from the docks or something, I would love to like keep an ear out to see if there's anyone like trying to remain hidden
Sure.
watching us.
Give me a spot hidden roll.
It's almost like there's a role for this.
Yeah.
Anyone else who would like to can as well. If you would probably notice Love taking a look around.
In addition to that, can I might as well try. Can I look, I don't know if there would be anything on this island for any sort of like good luck charms or like local crafts for good luck.
Sure. Give me an occult roll.
I'm going to do my spot hidden first,
Sure.
just with the group.
What'd you get?
Yeah, no way.
75.
You need
We
you need your
switched.
dice.
You
I
have
also
to
got-
pay extra for the blessing.
Yeah.
We were gifted these, but we were not. That was not an option.
Norse Foundry, how much can we get these blessed, please? Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'll do a cult.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where's my cult?
Ophelia, why don't you also roll a cult for me?
What is this for?
Oh, terrible.
Yeah.
Roll.
I'm telling
My
you.
cult is-
Okay.
I rolled the same thing twice, 83.
35. 35.
Under-
Under 60.
That's okay.
Yeah, I had
was like, I'm pretty
5.
sure yours was in the 60s.
Yeah.
So, Oliver, you don't see anything. But Ophelia, looking around, you do notice some like handmade talismans in Narya's hut, kind of woven from reeds and sticks and whatnot. Very much the figure from Blair Witch style type thing, but not the same. You just make note of what was crafted, like the
I
shape
don't
of it
take
and
any.
stuff.
Okay.
No, it would feel wrong to take them.
Yeah.
Without them being offered to you. You think?
Yeah.
But you do note the design.
Okay.
Okay,
Do I tell them?
if you want to, that's up to you.
Guys, I saw a talisman in the cottage of the wise woman person.
Well, did you take it?
No.
Then why are you telling
Because I think I know how to make it.
What did it look like? I mean, I have a notebook. Do you want to describe it? And I mean, you'll see like Oliver's actually kind of like a decent artist
It
because
looks
he's
like-
done so much anatomy work that he's got to like know how to draw.
It looks like a stick figure of a person made of wood
Kind of, yeah.
on some string, some twine, some twigs maybe. I don't know.
I mean, Oliver will like kind of sketch it out, be like this.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
And what you
beautiful.
see
It's a stick figure, but thank you.
is a figure that kind of looks like this.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Cool. So we can make that, I suppose, when we get closer to the temple pyramid. Where are we going?
It's a temple pyramid.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the description, the best description of it.
Would this be an accurate portrayal of said?
Correct.
Lovely.
Nice. Before I forget, I rolled a 24 on my spot hidden under 45. So.
And I got a 75 over 25.
Ever so slightly.
So I know what Love was looking for. Were you kind of looking for the same thing to make sure people weren't people who shouldn't be on the island aren't hiding here.
Yes.
Definitely not.
Okay.
If anything, it probably looks like the Kharisiri are afraid of the island.
Well, at least we know where base is.
That's very true.
So,
My last check-in is I'm going to get Jackson's help to purchase a labor animal, like a goat, alpaca, whatever's native,
donkey.
just to have some extra carrying capacity,
Yeah.
an extra meat shield.
He says, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea actually."
You can name him Miss Laurie.
It is gonna.
Mrs. Laurie, sorry.
He had Narya show him where the ruins were on a map, and I'll hand this map around. Now pay attention to the dotted line heading south from Puno with the dot, but this says ruins that I told you not to look at earlier.
The shield has been lifted.
And he says, on foot, this is actually going to take us a couple days. And personally, we've got a few hours of sunlight left. I'd like to get moving now.
Might as well.
Absolutely no time like the present.
I mean, we're going to have to sleep under the stars regardless.
That was my question. Okay, let's go.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
The sooner we head out, the better. That's a fair bit of distance.
You said you wanted to get a pack animal, donkey, or
Yes,
something
please.
to help us. Probably should pick up some other supplies as well. What do you think?
I think we should pack light nonetheless. I'd make a not so subtle side eye. Whatever you think is best.
It can get pretty cold. Definitely some blankets.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a wonderful blanket in my bag.
Perhaps
huge.
some rope, matches.
Yeah.
Flint and steel might do
Certainly.
a little bit better. If matches run out, flint and steel can be reused.
So I have to admit, this is a bit outside my element, but
Mine as well. I've certainly done some outdoorsman-y things, but not super familiar with the intricacies of this area. I know it can get cold. I know that we definitely want to, if not tents, warm blankets.
If it gets too cold, we can blow up my poisons.
We get what?
I have poisons in my bag, and I can throw them at a distance, and we can blow them up with like fire or
I
something.
don't think that would be the healthiest smoke to inhale.
Yeah,
I'm just making suggestions.
This
is all I have. I don't know.
We appreciate the maybe some flint and steel might do well.
you see Jackson Elias look at you with a newfound concern and respect.
I think you also catch, while everyone's focused on you, Love's eyes turn to you, and there's this sharpness in her look at you while her face remains incredibly gentle and smiley. There's something in her eyes while she looks at you after saying that.
I'm a mess.
But definitely some way to make fire, some warm blankets, and some food for the trip, and fresh water.
Yeah.
Although we can fill up at the lake and then boil it.
So are we getting stuff from the village before we head out? Because if we need all of that
From the city, yeah.
okay.
From Puno.
Okay.
Yeah, he basically like kind of does a quick like leads you to the two places you would need to go to pick up that stuff. Gets a donkey to like help carry it all, and
If I find anything else with that symbol on it, I would like to get 5. 6, actually.
you don't see anything carryable. Damn. But you do notice it carved into the doorways of some of the buildings in the city. None of them stand out in particular. But like one of the shops you stop at, some of the homes you go by.
In that case, may I find something carryable, like a tag or like a bracelet of some kind? Because I have a scalpel,
Carve it.
and I would like to carve them into 6 and give one to each of us.
Sure.
That's smart. I was going to suggest we just carve it into the wood of trees as we go.
We can do that as well. I have more than one scalpel.
Marker away.
But I think if we carry them on ourselves, it might be, like a personal shield.
You find someone selling like leather bracelets, like woven bracelets that have like leather in them that is just like pretty. and you're able to carve it into each of them.
Yep. And I hand out and just be like, this might be a new favorite accessory. I hand one to Jackson as well.
This is
Oh,
so
thank you. He
incredible.
takes it and puts it on.
Hopefully my arts and craft skills have not gone away, but
They are perfect.
you'd say that about anything I made you.
I certainly would.
So you stock up. Is there anything else anyone wants to get? You can buy firearms, ammunition, etc. here too if you wanted. Those of you with high credit ratings, you are very easily able to purchase whatever you want. Those of you with the lower credit ratings might have to ask for, like, it's not expensive, but you didn't exactly convert much money to the local currency when you traveled here.
I'll grab some ammunition for my gun.
Okay.
For other people to use, if not myself.
Jackson buys a gun. You notice him pick up a revolver from one of the
Fair enough.
shops.
I think Love finds, like, while everyone's running around looking for supplies and everything like that, I think she finds someone making clothes
Mm-hmm.
and just buys, like, 3 full outfits of Peruvian handmade clothing.
Okay. Fantastic.
Stimulate the local economy.
I have a knife in my bag that I brought with my poisons.
Mm-hmm.
That's my weapon.
That's
Also,
fair.
the donkey's name is Hermes.
Nice. I will buy a couple of guns. Yeah, I don't think I've established that I have guns previously, have I?
You said you had one.
Oh, okay.
You
Well,
said
then
you
I'll
had
buy
a
second. I will buy a second gun.
Like chips.
In the chasing and a subsequent fight with De Mendoza, you had a gun.
That's right. I mean, I do have guns written down here. I just
Yes.
wasn't sure if I had brought them.
Yes.
And let me see, guns and a cane sword.
You do find one.
Nice.
Yeah, very functional one. Very nice lacquered black wood. Yes.
No, I don't have any money. Hold on, never mind.
You know people who do have money, though.
You have
Can
some
I-
gold artifacts you can buy.
Can I find the crossbow? Or nah? Is this not the place for
This
that?
would not be the place for
Okay.
that. So you stock up, you get well provisioned, and somewhere in the mid-afternoon, you start making your way south out of Puno into the Andes Mountains. Even it's late summer here, but it can drop to freezing in the evenings. And you are in the mountains, so it's not too warm for this area location. Thankfully, especially with Jackson Elias's urging, you all purchase warm blankets, some warm clothing, additional clothing if you didn't have it for the trip. And you start making your way following that route. Time passes pretty uneventfully the first day. It's a mixture of grassy plains, some hills, some valleys. You see some mountain passes, but you don't really go through any of them. But you are going uphill. You catch sights of some of the local wildlife, condors, maybe even a spectacled bear in the distance.
I think if Oliver sees any of the herbs that
Absolutely.
yeah, that she told me about, I think at some point I have little, like, I wouldn't call it like a science kit. I have like little test tubes and containers
Yeah.
for medicine, and I think I take a few.
Something like this, you can just wrap it in some like leather. And give me I believe the skill is natural world.
Not medicine?
No.
Okay. Yeah, no, 65.
That's fine.
It's a little over 10.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Oh, no, that's 56.
You still collect some.
Okay.
Don't worry about the there's a margin of error because they were already very well described to you.
Awesome. Just pick up some poison ivy and be like,
Well,
guys.
if you had like critically failed it, yes.
Yeah.
But no, you do, and then night arrives. The first night, Jackson Elias gets a fire going, starts cooking some food, rehydrating some beef jerky and beans, and
How would everyone feel about a song?
That sounds like just the thing to raise our spirits, frankly. I'd love to hear a song.
Perfect. And then Love's gonna start to sing. Not loudly.
Just 3 vampires come running out of your
Okay, that's 64 under 75.
Whoa.
Not my best night. It's a long day. And I think there's less words and it's more just a mix between humming and note carrying because she can't really decide on what song to sing. So she's just moving through different songs and it doesn't really make sense all the time. But it sounds okay, I think.
yeah, no, it's very hauntingly beautiful. With your fire warming you, but the darkness pretty complete once the light fades at the edges of your camp.
Just because I have the skill and I doubt I'm going to be able to use it that often, I'd like, while she was singing and everybody's watching her, I'm going to sketch a picture of it of her singing next to the fire while everyone looks on, and the picturesque sort of, background and everything.
Go
Should
ahead
I
and
roll?
give me a roll, yeah.
All right.
Let's see how good it is.
That's so cute.
Oh. No, wait. That is a 3. That's a 30 under 35.
Nice. Fantastic likeness. Catching the way the fire shines on Love's face. It's quite beautiful.
Oh my goodness. If Love ever sees that, she sobs.
Oh.
And as the first night kind of comes up on all of you, you sleep.
Do we need to take turns?
That is up to you.
Yeah, I'd say someone keeps watch.
What if I don't sleep because I just have a vision of the tentacles in my head and my stability is 57, it's not 60. So I'm not all there.
Every time you close your eyes,
I'm
you're just like,
seeing
nope.
the tentacles. Yeah, I'm not.
Never blink
I'm
again.
not okay with those black tentacles I saw. So
So every time, so everyone's like, should someone keep a watch? You're like, I'll do it.
yeah, I'm like, I'll keep watch with my poisons and my notes.
We should sleep in shifts, surely. You don't have to take the entirety.
I'm
of the
not
night.
sleeping. I promise you.
All the same, maybe someone should wake up so they can watch after you.
I will.
Okay.
Okay. So you're gonna, Ophelia, you'll
Every 3
take
hours.
first watch, and then
Yeah.
Oliver, you'll kind of take over later on.
Yep.
Anyone else going to take a third shift, or
Love is already asleep.
you hear very gentle snoring coming
Yeah,
from Love.
earmuffs, eye mask cover.
Amazing.
One of the flowy old Hollywood style dressing
Like
robes.
caftan.
Just in a tent with a massive
Oh, you bought a tent?
yeah. And just with her blanket that she brought with her, and it's just really fuzzy.
Are you glamping?
Yep.
Yes.
Now, here's my question. Did you ask someone else to put the tent up for you?
No, I think I tried to figure it out myself.
I'm going to say that you do. And if anyone is paying attention, they might notice how shockingly well Love puts together her tent.
Yeah, I think while everyone was talking after she sang, she just excused herself, set up the whole tent, and then went to sleep after going, good night.
So what are we sleeping on? Or me not sleeping on?
Warm wool blankets.
Okay.
Like that merino wool, like alpaca wool.
Like the blankets in a hospital? I'm sorry, those are really comfortable.
They are. Yeah. No, that's, yeah.
Incredible.
Super valid. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not waking you up after my shift. I know what a nightmare you are to wake up.
I feel like either one of you
Yeah,
would probably
I'd
would have
probably go.
volunteered.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be a little selfish given the altitude sickness
Okay.
and just try to sleep it off.
Okay. Noted. So, Ophelia, you take the first watch, and I want to say right around the time that you would have been, Oliver would have asked you to wake him up. Give me a listen roll. Do you keep the fire going?
Yes.
Okay.
Bad vibes.
Is it 25 if I don't have? Like, is the
Yes. Yeah.
20.
20.
20. 20 for listen. Thank you.
Did you roll a 25?
North Foundry, do you have that blessing package we could get, please?
So you
85?
okay? So you wake up Oliver. It's around 3 a.m. You rough guess. Oliver, go ahead and give me a listen roll, like pretty much immediately upon waking up.
Awesome. That's great, because I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see shit. Yeah, 82. It's a little over 20.
It takes a minute. Where is Hermes?
I'm using him as a pillow. And he's hee-hawing and snoring, and I'm alternating back and forth.
Amazing. I love it. You do all hear... Well, those of you who are awake, I should say. You both hear kind of a sound that imitates a donkey. Like you hear a donkey, but it's not quite right, come from nearby.
I just kind of like motion to Ophelia, like I don't say anything, and I'm like,
What?
I listen for it again, see if it is closer, if it's far away.
You don't hear anything. Give me a spot hidden roll.
I'm slightly better at that.
Ophelia, are you like looking around? Or
Yeah,
are
I'm
you
not
just
sleeping.
like what is going on? Or just
I'm not sleeping.
no, I know.
I'm looking around.
Okay.
Am I
That is-
spot,
Hold on. Go ahead.
am I spot hidden or not?
Yes.
81.
Oliver.
That is a 6 under 45.
After shushing Ophelia and looking around a bit more, you see light glinting off of animal eyes, kind of watching you from the brush near the camp. Just
they-
out of firelight.
Do they look like animal eyes, or do they look...
Hard to tell.
I don't want to get closer.
Okay.
I think if there's a torch, like some kind of like lantern or light source nearby, I will light it. I'm not going...
I mean, the fire is lit.
I know, but I wanted another thing that perhaps if it comes closer, I could swing at it.
Okay.
I think I will also take out my gun.
Okay.
I'm not going to make any moves towards it, but I am keeping my eyes keenly on that thing.
Sure. Yeah. Nothing else happens for the rest of the night.
That's lovely. You know what? As long as it doesn't come closer, I'm good.
Around 5, 6, you wake Adrian up.
Yeah, I are you wearing like a rich person sleeping mask?
Absolutely.
I take
Yes.
it and I just snap.
Oh no.
Morning sunshine.
That's not the proper way. That's not the proper way to wake a gentleman, by the way.
I don't have tea and scones, but I do have a visitor, and I point out the eyes.
Okay. Do I see the eyes?
Not anymore.
There were
Did you-
eyes there. Not anymore, but
And what time is it?
Not quite sunrise, but getting there.
So not quite time that I should be waking up yet?
No, yes, this is
Oh,
around
it
when
is?
you.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is? Okay.
you agreed to this.
I see. Well, I can confirm that there are bushes over there, which is good. I suppose I can let everyone know that you saw bushes.
I saw eyes.
Eyes.
And if you don't want to believe me after a leech man tried to eat one of us, that's perfectly fine. But I'm telling you that there was something there. And I hand you the lantern. I saw something. I heard something. I don't know what it was. I kept eyes on it. It didn't get closer, which is great. But, yeah. Have fun. I'm going to sleep.
Okay. And you lay down to go to sleep. Now that it's like that pre-dawn time, it's I would have said just outside the light of the fire, but now it's within the light of the fire because the fire is illuminating more because it's being held by the faint light, the sky getting a little bit lighter, etc.
Okay, so I could inspect those bushes without putting myself
without walking over
darkness.
there. Yeah.
Yes.
You can walk like part of the way over.
Okay, I'd like to do that.
Before you do so, Ophelia,
Am I awake?
you're you know what? I would like you to roll a Constitution check to see if you stay awake. You are tired.
$38.
That's
Over
better.
No, under.
35.
Your Constitution?
35.
Your Constitution's only 35?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Same.
You die of insomnia. it just
Ophelia
happens.
drops dead.
You do drift off.
Okay.
Probably about halfway through like Oliver's shift, yeah.
Okay.
So when Oliver is awake and he's looking around, you would
So I'm out.
yeah, you're asleep at this point.
Honk shoe.
So Adrian, you get up, you walk like part of the way over so you can get a better look at the bush. You don't see anything.
Okay. No tracks or anything like. Not that I have
Roll survival.
survival.
Or is tracking a skill?
It is. I have neither.
over here.
These are in alphabetical order, and I still can't find things.
That's a mood. Yeah, go ahead. You should have a base skill in it though.
Mm-hmm.
So give me a roll.
That is a 44 over 10.
Okay. Not that you can discern.
Okay. I don't believe I'll pursue this any further, but I will stay on the lookout.
Okay. And yeah, you stay up. You're awake now, and after like 2 hours, the sun rises. Jackson Elias gets up. Other people would start waking up, and it is the second day of your trek, which will require two of you to give me Constitution checks to see if you acclimate to the climate.
Best of luck. Ooh! No. Wrong way.
Nicholas, you are
Successful.
successful, so you feel fine.
I'm chewing on some coca leaves.
Oliver, the lightheadedness, the faint nausea is still there.
Are you okay?
No.
Oh. You should have worn your earplugs yesterday.
That's great. Should've, would've, could've, didn't.
Jackson.
Somehow,
Oh, go ahead.
somehow my glasses are making it worse. Is that normal? I should know this.
Yeah, sometimes when you wear them for a long time, you said your head hurts. So, probably.
I can't see shit right now, so.
Perfect.
Jackson Elias gets the fire going a little bit stronger, makes up some breakfast. He brought some bacon and eggs along. Oh my gosh. Cooks for everyone. And you get moving.
I will when I have a moment. I actually will approach Love and say, Miss LaRue, I'm not entirely sure what awaits us where we're headed. This feels momentous. It feels like the kind of thing that can change people.
It could change the whole world if, vampires are real.
Yes.
And we've confirmed that. And that's incredible. That's already a scientific discovery for Oliver. It's already a discovery for Ophelia. I mean, I'm sure Nicholas will get paid by someone. I'm unsure what you're looking to get out of this.
I'm not sure either, frankly. The world doesn't appear to be what I thought it was. I'm learning more darkness exists than I believed possible. And here we are, about to willingly step into that darkness. But I feel strongly that as we travel into that darkness, we have to hold on to some glimmer of light, or at least we can be that light if we can't hold on to it. And that's why I want to remember all of us like this. And I give you the picture that I sketched.
Sobbing. She starts saying, "Oh my goodness, Adrian, this is incredible. You're an artist? You didn't say anything about that. And look at the shading. You just had a pencil. How is it red?"
Thank you. It's just a hobby. It was inspiring. It was a moment worth holding on to, and I thought it would be right for you to have it.
Thank you, Adrian. And I'll give you something in return. Well, yes, the world is a very scary place, and it is very dark. Most of the time. Sometimes you must stand in someone's shadow, or the shadow of the world, to truly appreciate how brightly the sun shines. And in order to bring the sun out, you must go through the dark. If you're in a tunnel, you walk towards the light. It tells you where to go.
You're right. Thank you.
Of course, Adrian. And for people like us, our hobbies typically are who we are. Because for most people in this world, money is who they are. We are lucky enough to not have to worry about that. So find your light in whatever it is, no matter whether it's a hobby or a person, or I would stray away from people because that gets a little weird, but what I'm trying to say is just be yourself.
I will. And he actually just kind of walks off wearing this expression, looking kind of confused, but kind of thinking through some stuff and just kind of staring off into nothing.
Ophelia heard all of that, and she's like, what the f*** is going on?
I think Oliver's like right next to you being like...
She has like tentacles in her brain, and she's like, can we just go? Like, what is this moment? Oh.
Yeah, and then Love just gets her stuff together and places the artwork between two pieces of the tent so it doesn't bend at any point.
Yeah.
And then...
Okay. And you make your way off on the second day. Let's say who has the lowest luck?
Probably me.
Uh-huh.
I've got a 30.
Pretty sure it was last time. So why don't you give me a luck roll?
Awesome. I don't want to be the one repping us with luck.
Yeah, well.
Oh, that's cocked. Oh. 1.
Okay. As you're traveling through the mountains, you all hear gunfire coming from nearby.
Oh.
Do we duck?
Do you?
Yeah.
You're like,
I think
I'm from Brooklyn, of course I do.
you can tell who was raised in what part of New York because Oliver also like tries to find some cover.
Jackson Elias goes.
Surprisingly, Love doesn't flinch.
You know,
I don't know who would notice that at this point.
Yeah.
So let's just keep that in mind. Jackson Elias is looking around and he said, I think it's coming from over there. And he turns and starts walking running in that direction.
He's running in that direction. Oh, I was planning to stealth in that direction.
You hear yelling. And as are you following?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to lose him.
As you crest the hill, you can see two figures on there's like a dip into a valley and then another hill. On the other hill, firing off into kind of an area you can't see quite that well because of the brush and some of the trees. You see one man pointing a rifle in that direction and another smaller figure laying on the ground near him.
Love is charging
Okay.
towards the man who's holding the gun over the smaller figure.
Yeah. He's not pointing it at the smaller figure.
Oh, okay.
He's pointing it off into the distance and like around like a bend in the trail and stuff that you can't quite see from where you are. And the smaller figure is at his feet.
I'm hiding behind a tree.
Okay.
I'm behind because I don't want to get involved in this because I still have tentacles in my head. So
I'm making sure my sister doesn't get herself killed.
Okay.
So I'm running after Love.
So Jackson, Elias takes off almost at the same time Love does, and you are running right next to each other. Oliver, shortly behind. What are you doing, Nicholas?
I'm headed to the downed figure, see if I can do any first aid.
Okay.
That's
And
where
Adrian?
Yes, I'm following along with. I guess I'm following Jackson in particular.
Okay. So you run, and it doesn't take you long to get down and back up the slight slope on the other hill. Ophelia, you have a good vantage point from where you are
to throw poisons, like what?
to observe.
Okay.
And as you get closer, you can tell that this is clearly a man and his son. Not that much younger, young adult son, but the similarity is immediately apparent. The man is yelling away from you, not at you, pointing the rifle. As you get closer, you can see he's still pulling the trigger on the rifle and it's clicking. So it's those of you who are familiar, it's a panic response. And the figure at his feet has his shirt torn, is coated in blood, with a gaping circular wound on his chest. And though he's not as frail and withered as Trinidad was, you recognize the effects of a Kharisiri attack immediately.
Hands on the wound, stop the bleed as best I can.
The older man turns, suddenly surprised, like he did not notice you approaching from the side, and goes to stop you until he recognizes that you're helping. And he starts shouting animatedly in Spanish.
Head whips to Elias.
Elias Jackson is like holds up his hands. He's like trying to interject to get the guy to calm down. Multiple things. I need the two of you who have first aid to roll first aid, not medicine.
I'd like to push my luck. That was a 99.
You okay? You're gonna push the roll,
Yeah.
because that could kill someone.
Yeah,
if
a
you fail
99.
that. Let's come back to you though, Nicholas. What did you get?
Success. 32 under 56.
32 under 56. Okay, so you put pressure on the wound. You to try to stop the bleeding, and you're assessing the rest of it. Oliver.
26 under 75.
Okay. Oliver, you start assessing the more extreme trauma of the gauntness and the fat loss, trying to see how you can assist with the effects that is having on his body. Love, what are you doing?
I have run up here, and I have pulled out my little tiny gun, and I am looking for the Kharisiri who did this. Just
Okay.
like to keep an eye out, because he seems like he is still trying to shoot something.
Yeah.
So this may have just happened, is where her head's at.
Oh, it clearly just happened.
Okay.
Ophelia?
I have my knife and I'm like carving that symbol into the tree that I'm like hiding behind.
Okay. Adrian, what are you doing?
I'm looking specifically in the direction that the man kept firing the gun.
Okay.
and I've got a gun out.
Okay, so you two are keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
Jackson is trying to calm the man down. You two are assisting. The interaction seems very heated between him and Jackson Elias for a minute. And at one point he starts to like point the gun at you two, and Jackson Elias literally grabs it. And it's clear that the man doesn't have bullets. You weren't in immediate danger, but
Still don't like having a gun pointed at me, but you know.
Yep. He starts to kind of talk the man down, calm him down, and the man explains that a Kharisiri attacked them. He knows what they are. He's a local. He doesn't know. He didn't recognize them. He doesn't know where they came from, but they had been camping here. They had been looking for their herd. Their herd had wandered off, and so they're trying to collect them and bring them back home. They had camped here overnight, and as they were breaking camp, he turned and saw his son being attacked.
Jackson, can you ask him if it was just one or was it a pack?
Just the one. I don't. There may have been another one with them, but I only saw the one.
Did it look like a small boy?
No.
Okay, good.
Can I use my sketching to try to be a sketch artist and get him to describe what it looked like? That's not something I had considered before. But,
It's so good.
Yeah. Why don't you? So he'll translate. Jackson will translate the description. Go ahead, give me that roll.
That is. Yeah, that's a 71. Over 35.
You could try to push it.
Yeah.
Or your drawing will just be very generic.
I'm gonna try to push it.
Okay.
I mean, nobody's failed at pushing yet, so
Don't
it's gotta...
say that.
Okay, that is a 90.
That is a 90.
Yes. A 90-0.
You sketch as you're sketching. I don't know how to make this. You realize that you are sketching D. Mendoza. You're like, nope. And the guy just looks at you like, what are you doing? And he kind of closes off a little bit. He feels like you're not taking him seriously. He insists on taking his son home and leaving. Yes, Ophelia.
From behind the tree, I have my knife in my hand, and it's like there's splinters of wood everywhere. I'm like, Oliver, before I drifted off, didn't you like see something in the bushes?
Yeah.
Couldn't that have been what attacked this dude?
I'm very much so like still. Oliver's very different than how you've seen him before. He is very much in trauma doctor mode, where his patient is the only thing that matters to him right now. So I think even when the guy points the gun at him, he doesn't even like look up. He's solely focused on, is this kid breathing? Does he have a pulse?
I will say,
what is he losing?
You've stabilized him. The main thing is he appears to be suffering from malnutrition at this point. The man's insistence that he take his son home is probably actually the best thing for him. He needs food, he needs rest, he needs warmth. And the man is pretty much insisting that he collect his son and leave at this point, because now he thinks that, not so much offended by, but he feels like you weren't taking him seriously, sort of thing. You drew a stereotypical Spanish man. You drew like the Kharisiri from history, not who he was describing.
Oliver will look to Elias and have him translate, but Oliver will tell him like prognosis and treatment plan. Essentially like lay out like make sure he rests, do not let this wound get infected, change it out twice a day, clean it with this. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and Jackson Elias translates all that. He nods and he nods, and you Nicholas, you stop the bleeding. You are able to like lightly bandage the wound. You're not really sure, like you would have to like completely like strip him and wrap bandages around his chest in order to fully bandage it, but you do your best.
Is the kid safe enough to move to get home?
Yeah, you feel like between the work that you've done and Oliver, he's stable. If his father carries him, he'll be fine. He certainly can't walk on his own.
Jackson, can you help him to Hermes? Have the kid sit or transport. That might relieve some of the burden.
You sure we want to give up our...
It's a donkey.
I mean,
yeah.
But it has our stuff.
we need it, but I feel like
And I feel like
our patient,
we are pretty close. We're getting there.
he needs it more.
Yeah.
And Hermes is the god of messages and travel.
Is that why you named him that?
Yes.
Okay.
Jackson nods. It's okay. And they do so. He, unloads your stuff, or most of it.
So who's carrying it?
I'll carry
Us.
it.
I'm not carrying it.
Doctor, do you have any, my very bloody hands? I don't want to waste any water. Do you have anything to help clean?
Yeah, Oliver also has very bloody hands, and he's like,
Jackson goes, I think there's a stream.
Okay.
Like,
I've already wiped it on my, just,
Here you go.
okay. And you continue on, watching the man who Jackson tells you afterwards, the name was Julio, make off, leading his son who's half sitting, half laying on the back of Hermes.
A single tear falls out of Love's eye as Hermes walks away.
a very build a pony moment.
Back to my question, though.
Sorry, you asked me something?
Yeah. So, didn't you see something in the bushes?
Yeah.
Do we think what you saw is what attacked that boy?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Did we not all think that?
I'm just trying to clarify and make sure we're all on the same page.
Oh, yeah, I 100% thought I saw a Kharisiri. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know all the sounds a Kharisiri can make, but it did sound like a donkey, but wrong.
Could have been a chupacabra also.
I think that's a little north of where we are, if I'm remembering correctly.
Possibly. And I'm like looking at my notes.
Going through your actual
Going through my
books.
books, yeah.
Well, I'd meant Hermes to be kind of a buffer, but as terrible as this was, this kid might have taken a bite for us. I feel really bad about that, but at least it wasn't us.
And he's alive. Good thinking, by the way. You ever think about becoming a paramedic?
I don't have the pedigree for that.
Trust me, you don't need a pedigree to become a doctor.
Y'all are much nicer than me because I'm kind of sad that we lost our donkey.
I'm so devastated emotionally that he's gone.
He'll be okay.
I know.
He's doing his job.
And now they're going to take care of him and he's going to have a happy life on a farm.
Yeah, I think that family can take way better care of Hermes than we could have. We'll get a donkey when we get back home.
It was the right thing to do, Nicholas.
I agree. I agree, Jackson says. And he shoulders a few extra items that were being stowed on Hermes' back and starts off and checks the map and starts off again.
You said we were close?
Yeah, I think we'll be there tomorrow. Pretty.
I mean, for walking across the country, that's pretty damn close.
And the rest of the day goes by without incident, as does the following evening.
Oh.
And when you break camp the next morning, he says, I think we can get there pretty quickly. He pulls out a watch and checks. And he's looking at the map and he's like looking around. And I think we're pretty close. Shall we?
Onward and upwards. Well, I'm still sick, preferably not upwards, but onwards.
It is the third day. Make a constitution roll.
Oh, no. 47 under 55.
There you go.
Oh, thank God.
And you feel better today. You feel better today, actually. You say that. You literally go like, I'm still sick. And then you're like, actually.
Yeah, still preferably not upwards, though. That was hell.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Lead the way.
Yeah.
And he does. And he leads you through and around. And it does take most of the day. but you start approaching a more barren, arid section of the hills. Less vegetation. And can everyone give me a spot hidden roll, please?
Oh, it's my favorite. I'm so good at this.
Ooh, cocked.
Oh, my babies. What happened to you? Oh.
33.
What's your spot hidden?
25.
Oh, no. So close. Better than usual. Adrian.
73 over 45.
Okay.
45, yeah.
Oliver.
7 under 45.
Okay. Love.
4 under 25.
Good Lord.
So Oliver and Love are probably deep in conversation as you're walking, as you do. And while the rest of you are kind of helping Jackson navigate and trying to see where you are and like noticing like how the landscape is changing, you don't notice, but you two do. 2 figures up ahead, making their way in the same direction you are.
Do we recognize said figures?
Not from this distance, no. But you do see, it appears to be a man wearing light cotton clothing and a woman. The one thing that stands out to you more so than anything else is they do not appear gaunt.
Do they seem to have noticed us?
They do seem like they're in a hurry. They're definitely moving quickly, faster than you are. And they seem to know exactly where they're going.
Oliver?
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
see him.
Elias?
Yes.
People up ahead running. Or not running. I don't really...
Hurrying.
They're just like hurrying or something. It looks like they're running from here. I can't see that well.
Pointing it out, he does see exactly what you were pointing out. Can't get a good look at them, though.
Should we try and catch up? I'd rather confront a problem than have it confront me.
I mean, yeah.
Wonderful.
I'd rather deal with them here than wherever this ruins is, where maybe they can hide.
Yeah.
If it is two of them.
They don't look gaunt, but
And neither did Di Mendoza after he killed.
Yeah. They could have just fed. Wait,
But there was only one bite taken out of that boy.
but they might not have been the only people in the forest.
Oh, that's so fair.
Yeah. Do I remember what Larkin was wearing?
Yes. Ophelia?
2 people have guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
We should shoot them in the back now.
Jackson nods. He's like, I actually don't disagree with you, but they're out of range for me. I'm not that good of a marksman. Not with a revolver. They are hundreds of yards away.
What if we bait them?
We would need to get ahead of them.
I could probably cut them off pretty quickly.
I can throw my poisons.
Is it just me or does that look like Larkin?
So I will say it doesn't.
Maybe it's just the pale clothing.
Larkin was wearing a white linen suit. This is light cotton clothing. There is similarities, but a lot of people dress that way around
I
here.
don't know. Maybe I just don't like the dude.
So I'm gonna take it. You've told everybody knows. that
Yes.
this-
Yes.
Yeah. This is all a conversation now,
Okay.
and like Jackson is like getting ready to chase these
So
people.
I'm gonna say we've seen them. They haven't seen us, and they don't know how many of us there are. And
Right.
then I'm gonna run off in another direction to try to circumvent.
Okay. So like I said, they are hundreds of yards. So they're like 800 meters away. They're a couple football fields away.
Gotcha.
But you do think you might be able to like pincer
pincer.
movement and
Mhm.
intercept them. Does anyone go with Adrian?
I'll go with Adrian.
Okay. So you two go running off to one side.
I push Love to the other direction so we can go the other, like, perform the other pincer.
Okay. And Jackson looks at you like,
I'm a lady. I'm just gonna walk behind, I guess.
Okay, so you follow the other ladies.
I very
Yeah.
ladylike said we should shoot them in the backs, but that's what a lady does.
Jackson Elias stays with you. And you go chasing after. Now, this will be complicated. You are chasing them over terrain you don't know, and they seem to know where they're going.
Yeah.
So, from one person in each group, I need either a constitution roll. Actually, no. I need a roll. I need a navigate roll.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Who's been You do it.
Femi, I am
having more
unskilled in that.
Yeah, as am I. I'd say, I mean, I was in the front, I guess, so, and I'm pretty fast, so I suppose I should do it.
Oh.
Can I roll my luck?
No.
Drat.
Can we roll both of ours and take whatever is better?
No.
Damn it.
Okay,
Yeah, it's fine.
very good. Or did you want to know, like, the result of my roll? It's
Yes, please.
a 94.
I will say, you do close in on exactly where you think they should be and run into each other, almost literally. You don't see them anywhere. But what you do see, on the next hill, a little ways away from you, a completely dead plateau. You see where the vegetation just stops growing partway up the hill. The surrounding land is arid. There is almost no plant life. It looks like it could be easily climbed up to. No problem. The pathway up is narrow. You probably wouldn't have been able to get Hermes up it, so it's good that you left him behind with the wounded boy. But you do think it might require some actual climbing to get up there, depending on which direction you approach from. You see wind blowing some dust across the land up by the ruins, and a stone wall roughly 6 feet or so, sections of it taller than others, starting to crumble. And a gate partially buried in rubble at the end of the path that kind of winds its way up, the part that you would have to partially climb to get up. And Jackson kind of pauses and looks and says, I think we found what we were looking for.
Yeah, that's... Was
Guides
expecting
first.
stairs.
You'll be fine. You can do this.
Miss Click, in your research or even pulp novels, there's always like a secret entrance or something. Would you be able to identify said secret entrance if there was one?
Can I roll for something?
You can give me a natural world roll.
Oh, Lord.
Actually, anyone who'd like to give me a natural world roll may, as you're inspecting the landscape. And as you quiet looking around, you all hear this hollow whistling, or maybe like the sound that wind makes going through hollow trees. Like kind of a whistling or a piping noise.
Is it coming from a particular direction, or is it just
The
sort of-
ruins.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Can I do a history roll, or would that not work for this?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Why not?
I can give you a hint. It's because there aren't any.
Oh, that's a no.
This is not something that you will easily be able to navigate up to. I will say, with the rope you bought, with the help of Jackson Elias, you are all able to approach the ruin without physical danger to yourselves, if you choose to. But
That appears to be the option, right? So let's do that.
Let's get to climbing?
I mean, that's the only way we're going to get up, right?
You are able to walk most of the path single file, making your way up towards the ruins. You do reach some areas that you need to clamber over. Are any of you skilled in climb? Did any of you put points into it?
I came very close, but no.
I will allow you to roll dexterity checks instead
Okay.
to see if you can navigate the rubble without falling.
All right, now. Come on. Okay.
Okay. Starting with Nicholas.
Success. 55 under 75.
Okay. Ophelia.
45 out of 45.
Ooh.
Ophelia, you feel rocks start to shift under your feet,
No.
but you are able to maintain footing, kind of scramble. It's not graceful, but you are able to scramble and maintain, not slide with the minor rock slide that you cause.
Yay.
Adrian.
18 under 70.
Sure-footed, making your way through it. Oliver.
I'm not fucking with you. I got a 1 again.
You easily make your way through it. Love.
Dexterous motherfucker.
50 under 55.
Okay. I love you also take your time carefully picking your way through. I'll roll for Jackson Elias just to make things interesting. He's fine. I rolled a 7. I'm not even checking his dexterity score. You make your way through the rubble and you start approaching the wall. Like I said, the wall, it's kind of like falling in some places. Parts of it are like, it goes from 6 to 12 feet depending on, but there's also sections where you can kind of like climb up the rocks of the plateau itself and peer over the wall and just kind of climb over it easily.
This is beautiful. She's peering over the wall, looking back at all the like healthy vegetation, not on close up here, just way far away.
You're climbing up and looking over the wall. What's on the other side?
Yes.
See. This side.
Props.
Wonderful. Oh.
For love, and for those of you watching, you see a small ruin of what was once a pyramid temple. You see a structure roughly large, flat-topped, stepped pyramid, most of which appears to be buried in like the sand that has kind of covered the area over time. Loose sand, loose soil. And you see ringing this pyramid strange carvings, almost like faces. Which, being a singer, you immediately recognize is where that strange, eerie whistling sound is coming from as it blows through the mouths of these carvings, which are all wide open.
Hey guys, it's pretty bad up here actually. I thought it was pretty. It's not. Y'all should. She gets down and lets other people look over.
The ground inside is pretty uneven. There's lots of piles of dirt and silt that have been blown around by the winds. And you see what appear to be older walls, internal walls, which are more rubble than anything else at this point. The pyramid itself is actually surprisingly tall. Each step is about 5 feet in height, so it gets up there. Probably a good 20, 30 feet. And from your vantage point, you can see the top of it, though. And there appears to be a large crack across it in the rock. And that's about all you can see from your vantage point.
I don't think it should have a crack in it.
Earlier, I mentioned anyone who wanted to could make a natural world roll. Love, I would like you to make that now. What'd you get?
Oh, no. Oh, should I push it?
No, don't.
What did you get?
A 14 over 10.
One of the things that you do notice also are these dark clouds that seem to move against the wind, floating around the ruin. Mm-hmm. It takes you a minute to recognize flies.
There. She sits down at the base of the wall. Hey. So just a quick check-in with everyone. How important is this for us to do as people, actually?
I mean, pretty damn important.
What did you see?
She explains everything. And it's got a lot of love filtering to it of like, there are clouds up there that look like flies, or they're flies made up, or it's bad. There's so many bugs over there, and there's a crack in the structure, and the stairs are 5 feet tall. I'm 5'3". I don't know if you noticed. So I don't really know what we're going to do in here. Actually, I don't think I thought this through all that well. It's quite scary.
I mean, I can't disagree with you.
Well, I imagine we all expected scary when we arrived here, just didn't know the particular flavor. But we've come this far. I don't believe there's any turning back.
She turns around.
No, I think I grabbed the back of your dress.
I just wanted to prove that it was still possible.
And it's not because...
Because we care about people, and if this is true, then the whole world would, I guess, presumably get eaten if that whole structure gets destroyed, right? That's logical.
That's very fair. Also, you really want to go back to your husband right now? Those are your options. You can go home to your husband, or we can walk into the Fly Temple.
She puts her backpack, like her over-the-shoulder bag back on, and begins to climb the wall again.
Okay. And Love, you are the first person over the wall.
I'll go with you.
The drop on the other side's not that bad.
It's fine.
You land on your feet. And who follows? Okay, Oliver.
I'll go next.
I'll go.
Okay. Nicholas, do you also follow? Okay.
Yes.
I think Oliver's on the other end of the wall because he's so tall. He's like helping people get down.
You can the section you're at, you can almost see over the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm helping those, like in real life too. I'm so tall. I know exactly what this is like.
Anyway.
That's the most unbelievable part of this entire thing.
After that delve into fiction. The Jackson follows, brings up the rear, kind of watching your backs as you're all climbing over, because he's still nervous about the two figures you saw.
Yeah. I'm gonna...
And you are free to explore the grounds inside the walls now.
Keeper, there is looks like just a hole off to the left of the wall.
Yep, it would be off to the left of where you climbed over as well.
Can I look at that?
So you start walking around. If anyone walks over to the pyramid, you can see the wall detail on there. There are carvings of gaunt faces, their mouths open in silent screams, creating that eerie whistling sound. And those dark clouds I mentioned are, in fact, clouds of blowflies flitting around the ruins.
Do I smell anything familiar, like rotting meat?
And at this point, you would all notice the lingering smell of rotting meat pervading the area. Not dissimilar to the smell you smelt in Larkin's room.
Someone died.
I would say a great many people. Carrion
agree.
flies don't just do that for one.
I agree.
The other thing you would notice as you're walking around are these chimneys periodically. Most are against the walls of the pyramid. But near where you climbed over, you would see another one that you are actually approaching, Nicholas. And near it is a large pile of silt that's kind of built up from the wind. Did you have something?
Are they burning bodies?
You don't smell burning. You don't smell anything burnt.
Just like decay.
Just decay. Nicholas, as you approach the pile of silt and the kind of the corner, you're kind of walking the perimeter. You walk around the large pile of silt to see a gaping hole in the ground. Roughly 15 feet by 15. Do you approach it?
Adrian, can I have some of that rope, please?
Absolutely.
I will tie a hefty amount around my chest
Okay.
and to what looks like the wall behind me.
Yeah.
To just approach.
Okay.
When Adrian sees what he's doing, he will
Just to make sure
man the rope, like,
Yeah.
in case he needs to be pulled
Oliver,
up.
Are you worried about the ground giving out?
Yes.
Oliver makes a move to help, remembers he has a 30 strength, and then just will take out his med kit in case anything goes wrong.
Sure. Before you approach this hole, is anyone looking at anything else, any other parts of the ruin?
I'm over by the face detailing, just kind of figuring out, I'm not touching anything quite yet, but my hand is hovering over them to feel the different wind levels.
Okay. I feel you.
Can I have seen these face detail carvings in my research for something else, like another temple somewhere?
Give me a history check.
Are they all blowing the same note on the faces?
I would say no.
It's discordant.
Okay.
May I roll an occult check on this? These faces to see if there's
Sure.
anything weird.
54 over 50.
Do me a favor. Roll the D8. It's this one.
The diamond-looking one.
This one?
Nope.
Nope.
This one?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Slightly smaller.
That's the one.
This
Yep, that one.
This one?
Yep. Yep. Roll that.
It's 6.
What was your original roll?
54.
Over 50?
Yes.
So subtract 6 from that, you're at 48.
Yay.
These don't look exactly like anything you've seen before. Love, what did you get on your occult roll?
A 16 under 25.
Okay. You think these are more a warning? This goes for both of you. More a warning than symbolic of what's here.
Okay.
It's more like this is meant to make this place creepy so that people avoid it. Not.
Not anything mystical
Yeah.
or...
Yep.
Oh, good.
And as you are looking around at all of them, do you have archaeology?
No.
Okay. Can both of you give me a spot hidden roll? Just you two.
I, for some reason, have archaeology, though.
Wow, that's pretty good.
It's a minor in college.
I had to choose some kind of some extra classes to bring my GPA up, and I just decided it would be a minor anyway. I took enough classes in it.
Oh, 17 under spot hidden,
Yeah.
25.
Okay.
6 under 25.
Jeez.
None of you notice anything particularly out of the ordinary about any of this, but you do notice, as you are the two closest to the pyramid, the smell of rot isn't quite as strong here, but what you do smell is rancid. It's that butcher shop. It's like refuse bin. Something is off. But it's not that like rotten decay smell.
So obviously you're picking up this as well.
Yes, I smell it.
Okay.
It's gross.
Does this mean that they're actively bringing people in? New, fresh food in?
Nicholas, as you approach the pit, that rot smell hits you even stronger.
Maybe it's the wonderful detailed coloring, but it does look a little red on this prop map that you gave us.
And as you get close enough to peer down into it, that stench of decay is nauseating. And you see emaciated flesh, exposed bone, deep years of bodies at various levels of decay. The ones near the top seem fresher, more recent, and as you see near the floor, glimpse at more bone, more almost mummified flesh, and hints of gold.
I'm thinking back to Professor Sanchez's theory that this was where they would lure and drop off unwilling people. And it's a lot to take in. I slowly, with Adrian's help, back away.
Before you do, roll a spot hidden for me.
Okay. 24 under 60. 45, so not a half.
You notice, unusually, there's an area that is kind of clear of bodies. And it's because it's hard to see it in the shadows, but you can tell that there is an opening in the wall, like a tunnel leading off of the pit, big enough that you think you could walk right in. Can you also please roll me a stability check?
There it is.
Oh. Enter the body pit.
That is a success.
You lose 1.
Okay.
Just 1. From just the carnage that you witness. Adrian and Oliver, I assume you stayed far enough back because you were trying to secure the rope and just
I'm a
Staying out of
safety
harm's
net.
way.
I'm not going to be in anyone's way. I'm going to let the boys do what they want, and I will be the boy off to the side.
Nicholas, after you back away, what do you do?
A little trembling at first, but still collected. I will share what I've seen. The passageway, the bodies, the deterioration, explicitly not the gold. I will keep that to myself.
Okay. Ophelia and Love, do you rejoin the group after investigating?
Once we find the smell and talk about it for a second, I think Love is like, okay, let's leave this area. I don't like the smell.
And
I agree.
where do you gather to talk? If you look at the map I showed you, there's the pit in the bottom. There's the pyramid, obviously, at the top. And scattered about, there are these small stone squares, which are those chimneys I described to you.
I think Oliver's kind of standing where we came in.
So near that gate
Yeah.
and the path. Okay.
I think it's I think where he feels safest. I think it's the area we know the best, and it's the like little advantage we have.
Sure.
But Oliver will look at Nick and go, Nicholas, did that tunnel, again, plan Z, let's try to find another entrance. And if we can't find one, I mean, you kind of found one. I'm not. Let me be the first to say that I think going in a pit full of decaying bodies is a health hazard, to say the least. But it is a way in.
We could rappel down that. We could try some of the smaller chimneys, too. That I don't volunteer for. But, and I look at the pyramid. Are there any obvious entrances other than the crack across the top?
No.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me anyone who would like to now, looking around the ruined site, give me another spot hidden roll, though. Just to see if you see anything else out of the ordinary or unusual or...
Sorry.
And I'm going to let you know you are looking for an extreme success. You're looking for that 1/5 value.
Gotcha.
Success,
but not good enough.
I failed completely.
I also failed.
I succeeded with a 30 under 45, but it's not.
Nope.
I succeeded with a 9 under 25, but it's not.
Love. Actually, hold on. Your failures, what did you actually get?
A 94.
As your lawyer, you don't have to tell him that. As you're not lawyer, you do not have to tell him that.
94?
Yeah.
I got a 55 over 45.
Okay. Ophelia, would you give me a luck roll, please?
I mean, you have a higher luck than me.
Yeah, my luck
you
is high.
cannot get worse than I can.
19.
Hey.
Under 50.
So you are a little frustrated, I think, with what's been happening as you look around and you're trying to figure out what's happening. You kind of wander off away from everyone else. Not like completely wander off, but you're like looking around. You're looking at the pyramid again.
Okay.
And just before you step in it, you notice the 2 feet wide hole in the ground. If you look at the map, do you see a pile of rubble directly above, like at the opposite end of the ruin above the pit?
Yep.
And there's a small hole there.
Yeah.
Just before you step in it, as you were kind of looking at that rubble to see if there was anything interesting over there,
Yeah.
you notice that hole. And you realize it is one of those chimneys that has been collapsed. But you can see a dark hole descending down into the ground.
Do I just tell them about it?
It's up to you.
Yeah, I tell you guys about it.
Oh,
Like, hey, come look at this.
That was a fortunate
over.
find.
Yeah, I know. Look at that.
Roughly, it's a tight squeeze for some of you, but it is a roughly 2 foot by 2 foot square
I'm a lanky boy.
hole straight down.
Do we have anything flammable we could drop down there?
You could make a torch pretty easily.
And poison. No.
Fumes in closed space. Ophelia's gonna invent napalm. I know. Like, I can feel it now.
You know what? I'm not stopping you.
Or Oppenheimer.
So yeah,
Make a torch. Make an effort to make a torch and drop it.
Mm-hmm.
It falls for a moment, and you see it hit the ground. Roughly 15 feet. This is something you could probably just shimmy down.
So, all in favor of this over the meat tunnel?
I
I think the eyes have it.
Yeah. All right. Jackson Elias has been uncharacteristically quiet through all of this. He just says, I don't think we're going to like what we find down there.
Clearly.
Yeah, I don't think this is one of those cases where there's a win at the end. I think there's a case of, it's like, pardon my analogy. Sometimes in order to save a body, you have to chop a limb. It's not a good win-win scenario, but it's the scenario where someone's life is saved. I don't think we're going to like what we see down there, but for the good of us and the good of the people down there, I think it has to be seen. chop the limb.
Well then.
Before you go down there, Naria mentioned that the seals, whatever, were broken, and that if we fix it, things she never said. Do we have a way to fix it? Some occult knowledge, some broken pieces. She didn't like the gold that I acquired, but I don't know what we could do if we get there.
Maybe it has something to do with the mirror?
Maybe we need to see what's broken before we can know what to fix. I don't think any answers are up here.
I vote we just throw the mirror. Like, if there's a pile of gold or something, we just throw it, and like we run.
Oh, I think all of these plans end with us running out of here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And honestly, never coming back to Peru as long as I live.
Adrian is going to take a step towards the hole and turn back around to everybody talking. And then he's going to climb down into the hole. And start shimmying.
Do you use a rope?
You said 15 feet. How bad is that? I'm bad with. No, you know what? It was more dramatic because I can't come back and look at everybody and go, I'm just going to borrow this for a second. so no, I'll say I
You
don't
just start
use the
climbing
rope.
down?
Yeah,
Okay, give me a climb check.
sure. This is going to be just as anticlimactic. Like, I'll see you on the inside.
Go ahead. Do me a favor. The 12-sided die, which is not the one with the most sides, but the second most. Roll that as well and subtract it from your total. This is not a difficult.
Interesting. Okay,
Shimmy.
well, that's not great. So I
Shimmy
rolled-
down the chimney.
Well, actually,
Shimmy down
all
the
right.
flesh chimney.
So what happens if my number is negative? Oh, it's not negative. Damn, that's okay. I rolled a 3 and a 3.
Oh.
so
That
it's
is-
exactly 0.
You literally just like
Nice.
straight down. And the rest of you notice as Adrian's head vanishes below ground. And Adrian, you lower yourself expertly down the chimney. Quietly, reaching the bottom where you could see there would normally be like a bit of a cap, but it's broken, and you're able to drop into a tunnel about 4 feet in height by 10 feet wide. So you are hunched over. But it's quite spacious. And from the lantern you dropped, you notice dust, fragments of broken stone, disturbed dust, might I add, with footprints going through it. The occasional bone, perhaps some water, little small pools of water, and that rancid smell I mentioned before is much stronger. Your father owned coffee fields. So you wouldn't be familiar with the smell of a slaughterhouse or a farm. Okay.
That's up to you. It's possible that may have happened during the last 5 years or so. But I'll let you decide.
You wouldn't know the source of the smell.
Okay.
It wouldn't be super familiar with you. And it is overwhelming. If you are pressed with the urge to cover your nose and mouth with some sort of cloth or mask, or you may be overwhelmed by it. And most importantly, along the inner wall, ringing the entire, what appears to be the base of the pyramid, is a ring of metal with symbols carved into it.
What
Very
is that
similar to something you have on your possession. The gold is unbroken as it rings the wall past you, extending past the edges of the firelight of the lantern that is still on the ground unless you have picked it up. And it is carved with the same symbols on the length of gold that you found near Trinidad's body.
Okay, I will pick up the torch. I'm assuming it's echoey down here.
You haven't made any noise yet,
Okay.
but you think it would be.
Okay.
And if you look up, you can see a face peering down at you from above. Probably Love.
Could I see if I were to mouth words? Would she be able to? Yes, she far enough away that I could mouth words and she would understand it.
Love, I don't think you would be able to make that out.
I am very good at hearing things, though.
You are.
Wouldn't it echo?
It would.
All right, I'm going to do my best to whisper
Okay.
and say,
You are able to like stick your head up into the chimney because
Oh,
it's
okay.
only. Remember, the ceiling is only 4 feet,
yeah.
so
mhm.
you can like isolate that
I
and
see.
lock the rest of it with your shoulders, essentially, so
Okay.
that you're not. It's so your sound is only carrying upward,
I will do that.
so
and
you can stage whisper without it being too loud in the tunnel.
gotcha. We'll say we are not alone.
And you were able to hear that.
She pulls her head up away from the hole. Adrian's saying they're not alone down there. He's not alone down there. What should I say back?
What does he see? Like, is there anything he can do?
What do you see? Are you? Is there anything we can do down there? Should we come down there?
I see evidence that someone else has beaten us to this place. Has gotten here first. And I also see evidence that, pull out the gold thing, that we found where this belongs.
I think Adrian just figured it out, guys. We got to get down there.
So, as those of you still above ground consider what Adrian has said and look down, Nicholas, how are you feeling?
Anxious.
Jackson Elias notices you kind of backing up a little bit, looking a little trepidatious at the narrow opening in the ground. You all right? Not good with small spaces?
No. I got you here.
Yep.
Mhm.
Could definitely use your help down there, though. Hey, Adrian, how's the tunnel?
Well, it's a bit hunched.
But it is like 10 feet wide.
It's wide, but we will have to either hunch or crawl to get through it.
I do not want to be out here alone.
I definitely wouldn't want to leave you out here alone. I mean, tie a rope around you and lower you down. You keep your eyes closed through the tunnel until you get to the solid ground below.
I want to say I trust you.
I appreciate that. You want to say that.
I want to say. Yes. Let's do it.
Okay. Ladies, doctor, if you don't mind, I'm gonna help Nicholas get down there, and then we'll get a good sense of what we're dealing with before the rest of us traverse.
I have an idea. Oliver will take a little vial out of his pocket, and he doesn't say this, but it's peppercorn. And he takes one out and he goes, put this in your mouth, and if you feel anxious, bite down. And he's banking on the fact that if some other sensation happens, your mind will be taken away from whatever is causing you. It's like when you're having a panic attack and you bite down on ice.
Thank you.
All right. So you secure the rope around you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to make any rolls, except for a stability one.
Except for
Just
the most
the
important.
most important.
Yeah.
As you approach the hole,
Mm-hmm.
give me that stability roll.
No, we fail.
Okay. Two. but you are able to start to lower yourself, and you feel the rope taut.
Mm-hmm.
And do you close your eyes?
Mm-hmm. All the way down.
About a minute, and you feel solid. You feel hands grab you,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel solid ground below your feet.
Okay.
Open your eyes.
I quickly pull to try to get. I guess I'm. Okay.
I'll try to give, as I'm bringing him down, I try to give him one of those reassuring, shoulder squeezes. I don't know how helpful it is.
It helps.
I've got you.
Okay. I untie the rope.
Okay.
And I look up.
Question for the keeper, real quick. I believe I know the answer to this. When you're rolling stability, are you rolling against your current stability or
Yes.
your max stability? Okay,
Current.
I thought so.
And Jackson Elias feels the rope go slack, and the rope will make it easier. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Okay. You use the rope. You don't have to roll. You're able to shimmy down.
She goes super fast because this tunnel is not small for her going down.
Yeah, you're tiny.
Yeah, she's just like, wee.
You kind of bounce against the sides a little bit, but you're fine. And once you get down to the tunnel below, you barely have to duck.
Oh,
You're what, 5'3"?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that bad down here at all.
Yeah, I'll slender man my way down the tunnel.
Again,
Nice.
you are very skinny. You are able
Yeah.
to shoot.
I'm just also very tall.
Yep. Use the rope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I'm just. I
You
hate
almost
this.
have 2 hands and knees.
Mm-hmm. I hate this.
Do you imagine going down like a chimney sweep from Mary Poppins? So it's just like, it's like right down.
I go down. I'm 5'3" also.
Yeah.
So,
You're also tiny, so you're able to. And Jackson Elias secures the rope at the top and climbs down it himself, and he's the last one down. As I described to Adrian, the tunnel is about 4 foot tall by 10 feet wide. That rancid smell is incredibly overpowering. Those of you who don't have a handkerchief or something to cover your mouth, if you don't make do with something else, you will have to make a constitution check every once in a while to prevent nausea from overwhelming you. The tunnel is damp, dusty. You do see footprints that Adrian mentioned leading off kind of in every direction, both directions, really. And along the wall, you see that gold bar stretching off into the distance on both sides.
I'm going to presume. I guess I've got the torch. I am going to approach the wall with the gold strip. And I assume there's no empty spots in it, right?
Not that you can see.
Okay. Is there anything else discernible about the gold? Any special designs in it, or a filigree, or?
There are symbols that you do not recognize carved in it, but they are similar to the ones carved into the piece that you have in your possession.
Gotcha. Can I? So I'm not going to use. It's not really a need to use a sketch, but I am going to tear out a piece of paper and do a, what do you call it?
A rubbing?
Yes, a rubbing. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. You do a rubbing, and you're able to like slide it back in to protect it. The base of the pyramid has this gold inlay. It's designed in such a way that the pieces are hammered together so that there's no breaks in it. It's one continuous piece. And from where you dropped in, you are in fact at a corner of the pyramid. So where you dropped in is actually, if you look at it, you'll see a tunnel going straight down. You are at the top of that tunnel. So there is a path, a long tunnel ahead of you that does not have the gold inlay, a tunnel going to the left that does not have the gold inlay, and then a branch tunnel going in 2 directions with the opposite wall having that inlay going around it, which is the base of that pyramid.
And I'm sorry, we're here?
Yep. You're like you're right at that line where it's going straight down a long ways, and like that's a small enough distance that you can see the pyramid from where you are. That's what you were inspecting.
Could I infer that that long tunnel routes out to the
The pit.
death pit?
Yes.
Okay.
The no pit.
I have taken my tie and crudely tied it around to kind of stench out
Okay.
the smell.
Yeah.
My sleeves are rather big. I'm using those.
Jackson Elias pulls a bandana out of his pocket and ties it around his face.
I'm taking off my glove and I'm using it to like staunch if I can get this off.
Love LaRue reaches in and pulls out some tissues and holds them under her face, and she's like, "This is really bad, yeah."
That's not great. Can I look to see? So that the main pyramid has underneath the main pyramid has the gold inlay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look at the others and go, we need to find a break. Somewhere there is no gold, and we need to put this back. So let's go.
Okay.
Preferably away from the worst smell I've ever smelled, ever. And I've smelled body smells. Let's go.
There's also that short path leading off in the other direction.
Perhaps a couple of us should search that way as well, just to make sure that we're not going to get attacked from behind.
I think this is a good place to stick together.
I agree with the doctor.
I don't think now is the time to split up.
So we can tell that path is shorter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In fact, you can see an opening at the end of it.
Adrian, you had mentioned tracks of some sort. Can we see which way they go, which tunnel?
I believe you said they go both ways.
They go every direction.
Yes.
Anyone who would like to can roll a track.
22/10.
Oh. No, forget it. I'm not going to do that.
I think 86 is just like a little over 10. Just a skosh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
I'm not rolling, no.
Okay. Not in
I
bothering.
refuse.
I think the dice have been angered by my using them to try to attain ridiculous rolls, so I'm going to give them a moment.
They're in timeout.
You do see the tracks going mostly back and forth from the long hallway that you deduced headed towards the pit and down that short corridor towards the opening, whatever that room is.
Okay. I think we should go down this short corridor.
After you.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
I am a doctor, not an explorer. Can we remember that I was dragged here.
Love just nods.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I pull out my 38.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be loud if I use it, but I want to have it out just for security.
I think in this close quarters, Oliver, instead of opting for the 38 that he for sure does not know how to use, and goes for two things. I'm pretty sure I have this. I have assorted needles and syringes. I am loading up some of my like special night concoction that I
Into
gave
a
the good
syringe.
doctor into a syringe, keeping the cap on for right now, and then a scalpel.
Okay.
Yeah, I will pull out a gun and hold the torch forward. And forgive me if this is anachronistic. I don't think it is, but I'm going to say it just like Alan Quatermain, eh? And plunge forward.
You walk down the short, maybe 10-foot hallway to an opening that opens into a roughly 20-foot by 20-foot room. The chamber is very plain, lined with stone. It is taller than the corridor that you're in as you peer into it. Piled throughout the room is gold. Gold coins, gold jewelry, gold watches. These do not look like Incan artifacts. These look like personal belongings.
I think Oliver just starts walking in the other direction.
And laying on 2 of 3 reed mats on the floor are the figures that you saw earlier, heading towards the temple, laying like corpses, asleep. Their faces gaunt.
Oliver just starts walking backwards. If Love doesn't immediately follow him, he grabs the back of the dress and like just starts, let's go.
Knowing that Oliver was about to do that, can I try and use sleight of hand to grab some pieces of jewelry off the ground?
I will end you.
Yeah, absolutely.
68 under 75.
Okay. That's you notice less stealthily and less caring if people notice Jackson Elias doing the same.
You two are idiots.
You didn't see it.
I don't believe in curses.
I'm just keeping a gun trained on the 2.
They don't move.
Okay.
You're pretty sure you could.
That doesn't seem right.
They are clearly, from what you can tell, Kharisiri, if it helps. Or you can quietly back away.
Who else? You, Nicholas, you have a gun out? I'm going to look at you questioningly. With my gun still on him, and my finger is like on the hammer, like slowly pulling it.
Boondock Saint twice. I pull out the same, mirror your movements.
And I'm going to look at everybody and mouth like they're monsters.
Love just covers her ears.
Jackson Elias literally.
Okay. I am opening fire.
Before you do, Oliver goes, give me the gold. I'm going to go find where it goes.
Okay.
No one knows that Adrian has it
Except for
for Love.
Fuck. Never mind. Never mind.
Good point.
Retcon that last part.
Well, I did show it to,
Except for Love.
yes.
Love is the
But
only
it
person who
depends-
knows Adrian has it, and Love has not said it.
You haven't told me.
What
What a shitty sister.
Some sisters have secrets.
and some people just carry around gold. Adrian and I are rich.
Continue.
In case people weren't aware, like, hey, did you know I'm rich? Look at this. All right.
This will not require a roll.
Okay. All right. Then I do it. I do, I wait for everybody to cover their ears, and I open fire.
Same.
And you both 2 shots each.
I
Definitely kill them.
Fire. Okay.
A 38 to the head is not a gentle way to go.
They were asleep, and it's a few points of damage.
Let's
Just
do
a
some
few.
mercy.
So the shots ring out throughout the temple. Even with your ears covered, it is loud. And you hear them reverberate down the halls. And then silence.
Let's move.
Yeah, let's go.
3 bags, 3 Kharisiri. Can we assume that we've taken care of all of them?
I bet these are the other what's the word? Conquistador. Thank you.
One of them is clearly a Spanish male, or was. The other one was a Peruvian-looking woman.
Were they wearing older-looking clothes?
The man was older, white cotton
You mentioned
clothing.
that, yes.
She was wearing more modern for the time, traditional Peruvian dress, things you had seen around Puno. So,
Can Love, just real quick, as everyone's like starting to move one way or another, just without saying anything or looking for anyone, she just takes whatever blanket is in the room and just covers both of their corpses.
sure, there was another reed mat. You
Cool.
can kind of cover them with that, and a lot of gold. Jackson Elias just openly takes some. He just like stuffs some in his bag. He's like, I don't believe in curses.
I take some of the newer gold.
You see some like
Watches, necklaces.
pocket watches, modern.
I understand. I'll
jewelry.
speak it. Well, actually, no. I'm still speaking in a whisper because, excuse me, because I'm a little shaken up. Say, I understand that the pile in here is of newer gold, and perhaps may not be cursed. But I will say, it appears whatever was unleashed by releasing gold from this place.
It's possible.
So I won't be doing that.
Love puts the handfuls of gold back down that she obviously took.
Oh my god.
Well, if we make it out, and I start elongating my jaw and have some serrated teeth, just let me stay here.
You're willing to potentially give up your humanity for gold?
I don't think Jackson Elias is like, I don't think it's this gold that caused the curse or whatever this is. I think it's, and he points back towards the pyramid, that gold.
Can't be too safe. I will. You know
Let's
what?
go find that break.
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. So he heads out. The rest of you follow.
Him?
Absolutely.
Other than the dangers of the broken rocks and stalagmites or tights, whichever one that you might walk
Tights
into.
and mites.
Yeah. The stalactites that you might bump your head on. You're able to quickly start circling this pyramid. And you turn one of the corners, and that rancid smell gets stronger. And you realize it was not coming from the pit. It was coming from somewhere down here. And as you approach, you notice roughly 10 foot wide, completely filling the corridor, and 10 foot along it, rancid pool of fat filling this tunnel.
Can I roll luck to see if I have any cocoa beans on me?
Yeah.
Cool.
And when you say filling this tunnel, is it moving in any way, like slowly, or is it just block, like there?
I'll get there.
Okay, that's a 63 under 70.
Okay. Yeah, you do.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, they're pungent. I'm actually gonna stick one up my nostril.
Okay.
And I'll hold some. How many do I have?
You have a handful in your pocket.
If anybody else wants one.
100%.
As you approach this pool, you can see it's about 10 foot deep, and it's filling the 10 foot wide tunnel. It's coming from the wall, and you can see it crack maybe 2 inches wide, running from the ceiling down as this fat is dripping and pooling out of it, where a break in the gold inlay is.
So the break is up high.
No, the break is about 1 foot down from the 4 foot ceiling.
Oh, okay.
So in the middle of this 10 foot.
Okay. I will holster my gun, and I will pull out the chunk of gold. Well, it's a good thing that I have it. Right?
You know what? It's better than Larkin having it, so put it back.
Jackson, I apologize. I wasn't certain that you could be trusted with this.
That's fair. I just met you too. If I had found it, I wouldn't have told you either.
Okay, I'm going to do another dramatic look at everybody, and I'm going to move to place this back where it appears to belong.
As you approach the pool and you take your first step into the fat, you realize the floor beneath it has caved out. And you will be descending into this
putrid, oozing
Yep.
fat pool.
Indeed.
Quick reaction, just grab the back of your jacket as I see
Yeah,
you
because
descend.
your first step goes in and you realize the ground is not where you thought it was and you almost fall.
Well,
My gut reaction would have been to grab the gold bar in his hand. You're such a
So
nice person.
Nicholas grabs the back of your jacket. Love reaches out and grabs the gold bar to make sure you don't drop it.
Quick eye contact and just quickly pull you back.
okay.
I had a question.
Sure.
Where this is, I'm a rather tall man.
Mhm.
Where this is headed, if I hung on to somebody and leaned, could I potentially reach it?
No.
Damn it.
How far is it?
Pretty much the center, which is 5 feet, which leaning at an angle you would not be able to
Yeah.
reach. Those of you who are educated, give me an education roll.
Ooh.
Can I push my luck? Because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was one worse than what I rolled.
Oh,
So you failed.
Yeah, I got an 80 over 70.
Perfect. Let's go this
Awesome.
way. Nicholas?
Sorry,
I
guys.
didn't roll.
Okay.
I got an 84 under 85.
Amazing.
Alright.
Perfect. Adrian?
I got a 45 under 60.
Okay.
80 over 70.
27 under 75.
Whoa.
Rich people.
All of you
Educated.
realize fat burns. This is essentially oil. You could get rid of the pool of fat. Those of you who succeeded on your education rolls know that will cause a small fireball and fill this tunnel with very few air holes with smoke for some amount of time. Now you do have, for most of you, cloth wrapped around your mouths, etc. But Oliver, you think it would be a great idea to toss that torch into that pool of fat?
I mean, we could get rid of the fat real easy.
And are you reaching for the torch or something?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that fill this place with smoke? It would be dangerous for us staying in here.
Oh, like a grease fire smoke.
Hear me out. There are different exits here.
Mhm.
What if we went past one of the exits and let the smoke vent?
Looking up, do I see that crack in the ceiling that was on top of the pyramid?
No.
It just doesn't route here.
You haven't seen it from any angle from when you've been walking through. The ceiling above you is also 11 feet below the top of the pyramid. Well, even further than that.
So we're like a
I-
sarcophagus chamber.
So
Something like
that is a potential idea. I have another potential idea. We're brainstorming. I have a question. Do corpses float on fat?
I mean, it depends. I know what they do in water. They tend to float in water, but would I know if fat is... let's pretend that Oliver with his 70 education would know this, and not Salem with their 2. Would fat float in, like, which is more dense, fat or water? I would assume it would be fat.
Actually, fat is less dense. Fat floats on top of water, isn't
It
that right?
does.
Then that would probably mean
It's
that
aerated.
the bodies might float,
Mhm.
but it depends on if bodies are more dense. They might sink.
Is it worth trying?
No.
Okay.
Bodies would not float on fat. It is too light.
You know what we could do? We have rope. If one of us goes around to the other side of this block, someone ties a rope to me, because I'm dainty. You could pull from both sides and suspend me over it, and I can put the piece in.
I mean, yeah.
Is there something that could operate as a, what would that be? The pulley or what? We just need something to suspend to dangle her from. Is there-
You know from the shape of this and the tunnels, unless there is a cave-in at some point that you didn't get to, you could walk all the way around the pyramid to the other side of this.
Okay. I don't have any better ideas.
Jackson Elias is like, damn, yeah, that might work. That might work.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Good job.
Even if we burn away the fat, it's still caved in. We'd have to get over there somehow.
Right.
That's true. Let's do it.
Tie me up.
Okay. Who is running around the entire pyramid to get to the other side?
I have a 30 strength, so I don't know if I'm the best person for this, so I'm going to look at you two.
35!
Ooh.
That's wrong.
Jackson Elias looks at you.
I will go alone in
No.
a very small area. Unless you want to come with me.
Well, I think I might be the one who's holding the rope on this side.
I'll go with you to the other side.
There we go.
I will hold it if you can lead me.
Yes.
Okay. So you run around? Okay. As you go, one thing you do notice once you get to a section that you hadn't walked through before, you see what appears to be a corpse. Pile of bone.
I steer him far around it
You
because
like-
I
so it's like
remember
leaning against one wall and you move like
Yeah.
along the pyramid. Okay.
it's like when you see someone scaring you across the street. Like I remember a lovely wise woman's words about
Mhm.
Remains to be left alone and bones.
And you just avoid it.
Yeah, I'm not triggering that initiative
Go ahead
roll.
and both give me a spot hidden roll as you move past it. Kind of eyeballing this pile of bone and rag.
Ooh.
3.
3.
Nicholas?
2.
We have the
You-
eyes of a hawk.
Both of you notice something small and white wriggling in the eye socket of the skull in the rags.
Don't care. Let's go.
It's just love.
And
Nope.
you make your way around, and you, as you turn a corner at the pyramid, you can see torchlight up ahead, and your friends on the other side of this 10-foot wide pool of rancid fat. Jackson Elias tosses rope to you. You catch it. And Love.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think you should roll to do this?
I don't like that. I don't like that. It's like when your dad is like, what do you think I'm going to say to you?
I mean, I could make an argument for dexterity, potentially sleight of hand, knowing how to use to
No.
put it in.
No.
Okay, okay.
down.
Climb.
Dex or climb.
I think as
I'm not
someone
great
who's
at
rich, handling money would be like handling this rope. So maybe if you could roll
Maybe
your
credit.
your credit.
I swipe my credit card along the lines of the stone.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong. There's no athletics skill or
No.
yeah, no. Okay. Do you have any skill in climb?
I do not, but I am very dexterous.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity roll with a penalty. Roll your d6 and add it to your roll.
Okay.
I will allow you to push this.
Okay.
Did you already fail?
No,
Okay.
but depending on what this D6 is, 19 under 20.
Love.
Oh wait, it's a dex.
Dex.
It's dex. Yeah.
It's a dex. I'm
You
so sorry.
passed.
At 19 under 55.
Yeah. Love you tuck the gold bar. How do you transport this gold bar with you as you shimmy?
I put it in between my bosom.
Okay. The perfect pocket.
Yep.
Nature's pocket.
You two hands, feet on the wall, two hands shuffle across, and you're hanging in front of this break in this inlay with this fat seeping like blood from a wound in front of you.
Just gonna
The smell is intense.
shove my beautiful fur into the crack and then place the gold over it. Slide the gold bar into it,
Mm-hmm.
the nice little spot, and put that cloth in there to start soaking up the fat.
Okay.
Because that's gross.
Can just imagine her on the wall just going, ew, 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 ew.
Every so often, it's slimy. I don't.
Keep going, you're doing great.
So the biggest issue is the layers of filth and broken stone that are filling the hole where the gold needs to go. I need another dexterity roll
Okay.
as you hold onto the rope and clear out the hole, this crack.
And is this one out of penalty as well?
No.
Woo!
You can push it.
Can I push this one?
Yes.
Okay. So that brings my luck down by 1, yes?
No.
Oh.
No.
It went down by 1, so I got an 85 over 55.
Love, you clear most of the debris out of the crack. And your foot slips.
Uh-oh.
And your foot swings down and splashes into this pool of fat. And in that moment, you feel something writhe across the skin.
My skin or the skin of the...
Your
That-
skin.
Oh.
And
Like
the
still currently?
Shock makes you let go of the rope. And you splash into this pool of fat.
Completely silently, I think. I don't think she even screams.
Go ahead and roll.
Is there nothing we can do to pull the rope to taut?
That would make it worse,
Okay.
unfortunately. Go ahead and roll. A fight roll for me, please.
A fight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was good at that.
Can I push
Typical.
this one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, what's going on?
Oh my god. 1 under 30.
That went from a 98 to a 1.
Wow.
Please take 2 points of damage
Okay.
as this searing, burning pain goes across your skin as this writhing maggot, bigger than anything, like bigger than a rat, rolls across your arm and throws itself towards your face. But you grab it and hurl it, and it hits the wall with a squelching noise.
And am I like floating in the fat, like trying to gain footing?
You are actually the pool is about 4 feet deep.
Oh, work.
So you're good head and shoulders above it.
3 inches. Oh wait, a foot.
It's 4 foot.
Yeah.
And you are actually still able to reach the crack in the wall
Oh.
as you feel the fat shifting as something else swims towards you.
Not okay. She just, after falling in, having that situation, and then presumably y'all hearing something smack against the wall.
Everyone can see everything that's happening.
Oh, work. She says, not okay, and just starts trying to dig.
Oh, you had finished clearing it as you slipped.
And
You just
Slam.
slam that in.
yeah.
I just scream, grab the rope, and I start pulling you to my side.
I think.
Hold on. As you push the golden ward back into the wall, you feel more than hear something scream in rage. And the ground and the walls of this tunnel start to shake.
Out, 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 out.
Yeah, I think Love gets out of the vat with y'all there and just starts like squat running out of here.
I look at Nicholas because he and I are on the other side. Is that I look at him and I just grab your hand and we go through. I'm not going all the way back around.
Through.
Yeah, through.
Jumping into the fat.
I scalpel in one hand looking for anything coming towards us, but I feel like with 10 feet and how tall I am, I can cross that in not a giant amount of time, but we do not have time to get stuck in this cave forever. Let's go. It's either fat or claustrophobia. You can pick. I choose fat.
Ophelia?
Isn't the so beneath the fat there is ground?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. That's my question.
Okay. Nicholas?
Following,
Okay.
If
You two...
holding Miss Lori over my head.
Oh, yeah, because you were...
Yeah, I was actually about to say Love was going to, as he is being pulled off balance towards the vat, Love used to when Oliver just acts, picks up Nicholas's legs, and Love is going to try and carry him over the vat because she's already been in it.
Yeah, Oliver will help.
Okay. And you were transported across the top of the fat, barely brushing it.
You're crowd surfing.
And
You're fat surfing.
nothing impedes you.
Yeah, they learned their lesson.
And I'm going to need a luck roll from everyone as you crouch run through these tunnels toward an exit.
I'm pushing this.
You cannot push a luck roll.
Yeah, I failed then. 88 over 30.
Okay.
I'm not very lucky.
23 under 50.
15 under 45.
Nice. 24 under 70.
Love?
So the threshold was 55. I got a 100.
Triple zeros.
Well, maybe Nicholas can return the favor very quickly then, as a chunk of stone breaks loose from the ceiling above you.
I think as it's falling, Love doesn't see it because she's looking you dead in the eyes going, it's okay. Everything's going to be okay.
And Nicholas, you watch as a chunk of stone larger than Love's head strikes her in the back of her head, knocking her unconscious, and you take 3 damage. Oliver, you spin because your sister was just injured and trip and fall face first into the ground, taking 1 damage.
I'll take it.
But breaking your glasses.
Awesome.
And the 2 of you need to be led/carried out
I grab
of
Love's
this building.
arm, not
These
knowing
tunnels.
she's unconscious because I can't see. And I'm very Velma, like,
Exactly.
So
jinkies.
very quickly, Ophelia, what are you doing?
What? I don't know.
Are you just running?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Nicholas?
out.
I'm picking up Miss Lori. Doctor, she's unconscious. We can't fix her now.
Well, shit.
Just move.
Just get us out of here.
And Jackson grabs your hand to lead you and says, Adrian, take the lead.
I will do that.
And you run to where you descended into the tunnel as you watch it start to collapse, and your only way out is through the pit. But you make it through the tunnel as the tunnels around the pyramid start to collapse around you into daylight. And that is where this story ends. And we fade back to a hotel hallway in New York City as the 5 of you, some of whom may have not seen each other in 4 years, are standing in front of a door with an impending feeling of doom. And we'll find out what happens next time. Thank you for watching this extra long episode. Chapter 3 of Massive Nyarlathotep, the end of our Peru prologue, as we pick back up in New York City in 1925, 4 years later. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Hopefully.
Together while worlds do us apart, but the way I feel won't get me through the night. You and I must be together as shadows do collide. Whispers and tongues, your dressing gown awaits for your return. You and I will fall 100 floors to embrace God's honest truth. You and I, you and I. Where